Here's to you, Papouli.
To you, Papouli.
Papouli.
Great man. But yeah. So that was pretty. Yeah, you're good. Pretty intense, but
I'm not laughing at that, I swear to God.
that's appropriate. I hope you laugh like that at my funeral or yours. I mean, hopefully not yours. Like, that'd be the creepiest shit ever. Can you imagine like the gas? Like you let out one last. You're like on your deathbed, and like somebody touches your stomach and like just pushes gas out of your lungs. You're like ah!
Live.
All right, everybody, here we go. It is episode number 6 of Your Worst Friends. I am CJ Couch, sitting in as always with Josh Smith.
The
and
worst Josh Smith.
The worst of them all. In today's episode, we got a guest, and his name is Matt Spanopoulous from What's Good Jax, and I'm sure a whole other slew of things we'll get into.
Yeah, most definitely.
Mr. Matt Spanopoulous, how are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you guys?
We're
Love
doing
the little
good.
setup here, man.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Little styrofoam things everywhere.
Yeah, you know, we like to try to keep it quiet.
Sound quality.
It's important.
It's important.
So I think it's fascinating that I do know you and you know me, but we can't figure it out.
We've already confirmed it. Yet,
Right.
Yet somehow it slips.
What's your deal? Why didn't you remember? I have a reason. I was wasted.
You know, honestly, I'd like to come up with an answer on spot, but I'm just gonna go with I played the fifth. I was drinking a little bit that night. I came out to see the comedy show, and I don't typically even drink anymore, but that was a good night. It felt right.
You don't drink anymore?
I mean, I am tonight.
I was going to say, I'll cheers to that.
Yeah. I'll cheers to that. Special occasions is what I like to call it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I am going to do Sober October, though.
Oh,
Are you?
Okay.
I am, yes.
That's
Sober October. Going to
interesting.
Joe Rogan theme.
Okay.
Yeah,
I like it.
Not for me.
Yeah, it's not for
It's
everybody.
not for, yeah.
You know?
I think I just want to do it. 'Cause I'm a little older than you, probably. I'm 31.
28.
Okay, yeah. So when you rode the pony into the ground long enough, you'll understand. You just want to do it because you feel like you can, you know.
It's not a competition, but I've probably ridden the pony a little bit harder, right?
Yeah. Yeah. CJ's
yeah.
a terrible person.
See, I haven't looked in your background. I didn't pull your records. I should have.
No, trust me,
It's
I get
bad.
it.
It's bad.
Shit. All right.
I'm blessed to look as the things that I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm blessed to seem innocent, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
It's gotten me out of a lot of pulled over with
Meeting
bad
you, I
things.
never would have thought.
No. Why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you look at someone and be like, oh, this kid was, doing bad things? What's the worst thing?
But he's a child of the Lord now, and he's changed his ways.
No, yeah, I love Jesus. What's the worst thing you've ever done?
Worst thing I've ever done. Oh God. Well, I guess what's the statute of limitations on these? Like, what?
7 years.
7 years. Okay, when I was like 14. Okay, I'm gonna lead into something like category. I'd say 4 here.
Okay.
We
On
went
the
to
hurricane scale?
on I guess on like a terrible scale because I like to do victimless crimes. You know, I'm not trying to hurt anybody, but
Right.
you know, at 14 we actually went to a lime mine. I don't know if you know what a lime mine is, but I grew up in a town in Tennessee for some of my life, and they have these big giant lime mines. It's like white sand everywhere, but in there's this construction trailer that always housed money and moon pies and Coca-Cola when we were kids. So we went out there one night with crowbars and we got the safe
idea.
open and
You got the safe?
probably
open?
shouldn't air this. I mean, you asked me the tough ones. I should have been like, I don't fucking know what I did wrong. Let me repeat this. I don't know. Statute of limitations. I was a kid.
Dude, there's no fucking
Yeah.
way you're gonna get in trouble for this. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
I'm
But
just-
let's just
I
say
don't
you
know.
are, and we'll hit a good editing point. Ready, set, boom. What's the worst thing you've ever done in terms of being a friend? Like, we're the worst friends. What's your worst friend move?
Oh God, I got a good one for this. All right, so Alex Pence, if you watch this, which I'll tag you in just for clarification, just to show that I did this and this is wrong. Okay, so me and my friend Jordan
wait.
Paiva, I'm also tagging you, Jordan. Jordan, Jordan and I got drunk at this guy's house, and this guy had a big lake that went to a channel, and then had another river in it. Now we always knew that there was alligators in there. This is Florida, come on.
Mm-hmm.
And we took out this canoe, and there's 3 of us in it, and so we made it across to this little inlet. So now it's completely surrounded by water. And Jordan, for whatever reason, was like, "Yo," he looked at me and he said, "Hey, man, let's leave Alex."
Oh God.
And Alex is a big boy. But sadly, he just was. We were bullies, you know, and we were trying to make men out of boys. So we jumped in the canoe and we paddled back, and the whole time. And mind you, we were out there trying to shine lights for alligators on water, trying to hunt for alligators, and you can hear Alex clear as like across the lake. "You motherfuckers, come back and get me! Come!" And we're laughing so hard. I'm in stitches trying to row this canoe back across, right? So this is their good karma point on this. So when we make it back across the lake, I'm laughing. I make it across the shore. I'm laughing. He's still barely just a little blimp across the lake. You can see him. He's just in the water, just like, "You fucking guys!" And so we're like, you know what? We need to go back and get him, man. We can't just leave him out there. We're just trying to have some fun. Well, Jordan is a stubborn asshole, and he grabs the canoe and we start going across, and he starts leaning to one side, and I'm having to lean hard to even us out. So we're midway back to go get Alex, and I was like, "Man, Jordan, quit leaning, bro, because we're gonna tip. He's like, "No, we're good." I said, "All right, man, let me move to the middle then. We're gonna tip." And so for some reason I wanted to prove a point at that moment, and I did that, and we flipped instantly. And
Whose fault is that? Yours or Jordan's?
I'd like to say it's Jordan's, but looking back at it, I knew we were gonna flip if I did that, and so I just like to prove a point, and I did. But it wasn't our canoe, and that thing went down into the lake. Like it went.
No.
It went down.
Oh, no.
So like me and this guy is like an ex-Navy SEAL, and so even at the time, me being like trying to prove myself as a man and all, I just wasn't trying to have that conversation with him. So I knew I had to go back and get this man's canoe, even though I knew that lake right there probably had all kinds of alligators in it.
Yeah.
So I tied a rope to my leg and I swam out there, grabbed the canoe. Meanwhile, Alex doesn't even know what the fuck is going on. He thinks we're just leaving him. So he's like, "You motherfucker!" Dude, he's screaming the whole time. And you would think he would stop, like he'd get tired, but he just kept screaming. So meanwhile, I'm trying to fucking work and go get this canoe. So finally grabbed this canoe by the arm. Jordan's pulling me back in by this rope. And we go and canoe back with shovels because I lost the paddles in the struggle. And we got back to Alex, and he's just, by this point, he's not even screaming anymore. It's like he's adapted and went feral back to nature. and he's like half in the lake still, his head's still poked out, and just like he looks like Ace Ventura from Mason, you know what I mean?
Can I make a guess about Alex?
Yeah.
Is Alex the one that, like, you could have predicted that would have happened to him?
Yes, very much.
Right. Yeah. See, that's always the fucking kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's always, yep.
That is when you bond with your friends the most, is when you
taser their feet while they're sleeping.
No,
What?
not Alex. Fuck
Wait,
him.
We did that to Alex too.
Alex is like a vessel for y'all to bond. Alex, it's not that y'all aren't friends. It's that he makes everyone else better friends.
Right,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Is Alex the worst friend?
No, Alex is a great friend. Alex, you're a man for sticking through all that crap. He's like a truck driver now, super successful.
Very good.
Yeah.
Great job, champ. Keep on keeping on.
Yep.
What you got, Josh? You told me you had something to ask him, and I was going to remind you.
Oh yeah, no, I totally wanted to ask you about your UFO experiences.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's always a fun conversation.
So a lot of people don't know this. You saw
Straight
a
for the
UFO,
crotch.
and you were on the news.
Yes.
And then like later, it came out the government said that was a real fucking UFO.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what made me. That's what made me come forward about it. But if you got to splice that interview in, because that was a freaking hilarious one. In fact, they had to edit it out. They were laughing pretty hard because I wanted people to take it seriously, but because I mean, there was more than one person. It was more than just me. Okay, it was like there was
a lot of people saw it. That's
Can I
why-
say something? There's a funny quality to you. I don't know what it is, but when you're telling that story, I was laughing for no fucking reason. Dude. I don't know what it is.
Bruh.
There's something about you that is.
Because it's all real. You guys feel that. Everything, dude. We just do things to say we did it. You know, we always like to experience life, and I'll push it. You know, at 19 years old, one day I said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna join the Marine Corps," and that, you know, and that's what I did. That I know I got kicked out early on. I am not claiming any valor. No stolen valor on this side. I did some real shit and kept my mouth shut. But anyway, back to the UFOs.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Another couple sips.
I'm having some sips of some. Okay, so
We'll get to the bottom of this marine
Yeah.
stuff by the end of that glass.
yeah, well, that was a crazy one. That actually should be a part 2 podcast.
I mean,
but
it could be right now. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
for sure.
That could be part 1. You can start right now.
that was a
What
good one.
happened?
No, let's well, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
that's
the
true.
Marine, it seems like a good
it was
story.
a really good story,
I
you
love
know.
it.
So like, I took it very serious, right? I was the guy that you know, I was easy to brainwash. I was easy to mold at that point. I kind of was looking for a direction, and so when they gave me direction, I was just new to obey.
You were like
And,
a fresh sponge. Like if you were a choir boy, you totally would have got fucked.
Right. So, I mean, in other words, maybe raped, but I would say,
No consent.
yeah, no consent.
No consent, but
No
no fighting
padre,
back.
no padre, no padre.
Hashtag me too.
Yeah,
It's like, don't do this, but like, I'm not going to stop you. I get it.
exactly. Right, like I'll go into sleep paralysis. And he's like a sleep paralysis demon at that point. Like I'm locked up.
That's what I said when my uncle used to fuck with me. I'd be like, oh, it's sleep paralyzed. You know?
Oh god.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Joke's on you. He's a necrophiliac.
I played Ed.
Oh man.
So anyways,
We're
you're in
on
the
highway
Marines.
to hell, dude. This is what this
You're
podcast.
19. You're 19 years old. You're like, I'm joining the Marines. You're
Yeah,
in-
man. So
like,
so I took my ASVAB with the Navy. Funny enough, because I wasn't ever planning on joining the Marines, but I was in pretty good shape in high school, and I was doing my PT with the Navy, and the Marines were getting their ass whooped by me, for a lot of them anyway. The recruiters pulled me in the office, and dude, as soon as I saw that uniform, I was like, damn, I love that. And so I ended up telling my girlfriend about it, and she's like, yeah, that uniform is pretty sexy. So I hate to say I joined the United States Marines because of a uniform, but I did it kind of for like, just to have people look at me and respect me.
you wouldn't be the first
know?
to join for the uniform, though, for sure.
True. I mean,
That's cool.
Definitely wouldn't, but I took it very seriously though when I was in. And so there was a guy, I guess, that got picked up from another platoon, because when you don't make it through what's called the crucible at the end, they'll recycle you. So this guy got recycled, and our platoon was set up a little differently than most. I mean, I would like to write a book on it one day because of how funny how this got put together. But so typically you have 3 DIs, right? Now let me set the scenario.
What's a DI?
A DI is a drill instructor.
Okay.
And their job, especially if they get amped up off each other. There's like, if you have 3 DIs that gel, it makes a really good training scenario. And it was a perfect storm here. So we had my senior drill instructor, which is like the head guy. It was his last platoon, so he took it very like balls to the wall. So he wanted to go out with a banger, right? And the one of them was a kill hat, what you call a kill hat, and he's supposed to be like the meanest one of the bunch, and he was the shortest one of the bunch. He looked like Lord Varquad, but he was he literally was the meanest one of the bunch, just
course.
because of the whole reason.
Just like
Small man.
And then the middle drill instructor, he was Greek and he was from New York, and I'm Greek, but I don't speak Greek, and he does speak Greek. So the whole time he knew my last name being Spanopoulos. Obviously, that's it's like obvious that I'm Greek. So he fucked with me the whole time and cussed me out in Greek. And anyway, it was a good little blend. And then we have something called a guide. It's an appointed person in the platoon that is the most fit to lead. And he actually shipped out of Jacksonville with me. He's a 28-year-old guy who was a Royal Marine, British Royal Marine before he joined the United States Marine. His wife got divorced. Him and his wife got divorced. He was an American. became a United States citizen, and then joined the United States Marines after they got divorced. He was like, "Fuck, I'm going back in the kill zone." And this guy was scary as hell. I mean, he was the scariest guy I could have ever meet, and not to mention his dick was like 9 foot long, and he was fucking crazy. Like the DIs. It's a funny story here.
Big dicks are scary.
Yeah, no. So like you hear. No, this thing is every bit of like a horse cock. You know what I mean? So like it's the first. You have what they call like your like first initial meeting with the DIs, right? And this is a funny story. So we meet with the DIs, and it's like all super serious. They come in and they fucking rah 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 the whole time. Well, it's shower time, right? And it's time for us to get in the shower. And we're going through in this line, and horsecock's in front of me, and a DI comes in. He's ripping everyone, and then he sees the the dick, and he's like, he just immediately shuts up and like mid scream, and then like does like an about face, all serious, and walks out, right? And so I'm like, oh shit, I know he saw it. And then yeah, I was like, no, you don't understand. Everybody, it was uncomfortable for everyone in the room, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. It was uncomfortable for everyone because everyone was like, even the black guys were like, what the fuck, bro? What is this? It's unnatural. It's unnatural. And then so another DI comes in, straight looking around like, who's got the big dick? Because that other DI must have like left the room immediately and went and grabbed the other guy. He didn't even come in yelling. He came in all incognito, fucking discreto, looking for a penis.
Some would say that's a little fruity, you know what I mean? Like, a little
funny,
sneak attack.
Man.
Okay, it's funny. Okay.
Yeah, it was, dude. It was a funny. It was like the little moments you look for in hell to make it like that was kind of funny and worth it, And this guy was, he's hilarious, man. But I went through some crazy stuff in there. It was at one point we got a kid that got recycled, and he wasn't ready for what we had in our platoon. Yeah,
recycled.
Yeah, so a guy got held back from another kid from another platoon got held back from the Crucible because he couldn't make it through for whatever reason.
Gotcha.
But anyway, we got in trouble for something. Our DIs or drill instructors were hitting us pretty hard, not hitting us like physically, but like made us like drag bleed soaked rags throughout the squad bay until people were crying and falling down and like just fucking themselves up. And the guy like goes and like immediately like, so okay, so I had to get my teeth filled through a dentist, and like I was in so much pain. Like they left off a filling, and instead of me like going out and be like, oh, DI, like this recruit's in so much pain, I just was like, oh, I'm in pain, I gotta tough it out, not realizing the dental office actually messed me up. They left a filling off, a cap off my filling, and so I was in anything. Time I
like
ate
an exposed nerve.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
shit is the worst.
So you know what I'm talking about.
Pain.
You know what I'm talking
on
about.
Earth.
It
Like
hurts so bad. Dude.
So
there's nothing worse.
I'm glad you guys can sympathize,
dude.
with
That
this
shit will make you want to like stab yourself to make the pain stop.
Imagine that times pneumonia, times the Marine Corps work. Times like having to stay up in the middle of the night, getting woken up on fire watch because it's your turn to watch the squad bay, and then falling asleep on fire watch because you're sick as hell and don't want to go to the sick bay because you're shooting guns that week, and that's what you've wanted to do the whole time. And so I didn't go to the sick bay like I should have. So they when I fell asleep, they immediately thought that I was kind of like not caring, and you would think it would be like one of those situations where you can immediately explain yourself, but I couldn't. I just had to take my punishment.
That's what it is.
The next day we go out for like a 9-hour table 2 rifle range where you're outside a lot, and we were supposed to. They give you cold weather gear to put on this whole time, and it's freezing balls out there. The wind coming off the coast is just cutting right through you, and I put on an extra layer of clothing that I wasn't supposed to put on. I was sneaky about it. I got away with it, but one of my other rack people around me got caught. And they found it on all of us that wasn't supposed to. And they took us in the showers, made us do all kinds of calisthenics. And that kid that wasn't supposed to, that got recycled, he got messed up too. He got messed up in the rain room, meaning we had to do all kinds of calisthenics. Well, he like passed out while we were doing calisthenics. And you would think our DIs were, this is like supposed to happen, but the DIs were like, shh, tactical. Like they were looking out for other like officers that come in randomly, and that kid snitched on our DI, so we were under a quick investigation. And during that time that I had that feeling in my mouth, they gave me ibuprofen, Well, they never assigned me any pain pills for that.
That's
So
bullshit.
you would think they would, but my friend got Vicodin because he had his wisdom teeth pulled, and he was like, "Yo, take one of my Vicodin, dude." And that kid saw me taking pills because I was like, "Yeah," but so they thought I was taking pills just trying to get fucked up. That I was falling asleep on Firewatch. That I was not doing what I was supposed to do. And when I got questioned by this officer for everything that went down, the reason why I got in trouble is because I didn't tell. I didn't rat. My whole objective was to get out of there without saying anything to anybody, and everything would be okay.
Try to plead the fifth.
Plead the fifth. That didn't work in this scenario.
I believe you. I believe you, but I don't blame them for not believing you because that's
Right.
I would have
Right.
definitely done exactly what they thought you
and
were doing.
It was kind of funny though. It was kind of funny how I finally got my tooth fixed. So this is actually a really funny story. So I'm on Vicodin, right? I'm actually feeling high for the first time.
How many did you take?
I'm a 2. I think I took 2, but I was in a lot of pain,
5.
right? So I had an 8. We were lining up for chow, right? And they're like, line up. So it's raining. So I go and grab a poncho, and for the first time I'm feeling good. I'm in shape as hell. So I'm like, I'm ready to rock and roll no matter what happens. So I go down, I go down to line up, and I whip my poncho around kind of like in like a cape and like slung it down. And I didn't think anybody saw me, and I was just, having fun. I was feeling myself a little bit. And my kill hat, the short one, comes up to me, and he's like, "You want to be Batman, Spano?" I said, "Oh fuck!" Like he's gonna kill me. And I'm like, I haven't really ate anything. I've been sick. I've had pneumonia, and I haven't really provided myself any nourishment because I'm in pain every time I eat or drink. So I'm like, he's gonna kill me. Like I have to go tell my senior that I have to go to the sick bay right after chow, or I'm gonna get fucked up. And he comes, and as soon as that happens, he's like, I go to my senior. I'm like, "Senior, this recruit needs to go see the med bay. I got a exposed feeling." Like he's like, "Open your mouth." He looks at. He's like, "Oh shit, you do. Like you need to go." And he looks at. He's like, "Staff sergeant, take recruit Spanopoulos to the sick bay." And it was the short one. And I was like, "Oh God!" So we were supposed to go in a truck. It's like 2.5 miles away. But he looks at me, and as I go down the steps, I kind of go and wait by the truck, and he keeps walking. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I want to go." He's like, "Come on." So he hits me on every sand pit on the way there, making me stuff my pockets with sand, put sand in my shirt, roll around the whole time. I'm so sandy when I get to the bay. They were like, "We can't. He's unsanitary as hell. We can barely operate on him. This is an operation. Who did this and what happened?" So I'm sure if there was ever an investigation, there was a lot of stuff that went on, man. But it was a funny story. It was just the whole Batman scenario, but yeah, it was fun. Looking back on it, I would do it again in a heartbeat.
You are Batman, aren't you?
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
So you can cut
Are
that
you Batman?
out, half of it.
No,
it's
that was
all
great.
long.
I was gonna say you're like, I never told anyone. It's good thing you still never told anyone.
Yeah. Oh shit! Yeah, that really happens. You know what? Statute of limitations, man. If they can't get in trouble for what happened in the Marines, then I can't get in trouble for what I did when I was a kid. Okay?
Oh, I can tell you one thing is for sure. You cannot get in trouble for what you said about you did when you were a kid. I know that for a fact.
Okay.
That's
I'm not
a
a lawyer, but
I'm a lawyer.
I'll take you at that.
I'm a lawyer, so I'll tell you what.
That's how we know each other. No.
But the Marine stuff. When was this?
That was 2008.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're good. They already did the investigation.
Yeah. Well, I was there for 2.5 months afterwards because they were trying to figure out what to do with me, and I'd hurt my hand, so they were trying to hold me back.
So how'd you get kicked out? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So my senior thought that they were just going to recycle me, but lo and behold, I got in trouble for punching the kid that snitched on all of us. It was kind of glorious.
Fuck that kid.
It was my
That's what
glory.
you
It was
should
my
do.
glory moment. You guys.
You know what? I salute you, sir.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jesus on the cross for that.
Hey.
You did that for everyone there.
Well, it was one of those reactionary moments you wouldn't think that you were actually going to do, and then it turned south. He hit his head on the wall, and when you don't have hair, it's like you get cut easy, and he didn't have but a small little bump on his head, but it was enough to like
He's okay now.
cause a lot of attention. He's a little bitch.
He's good though. All right.
Yeah, no, he's a good. I'm sure he's fine. Or in hell, one of the two.
Yeah.
Or in hell, one of the two. You know. But back to the UFO.
UFO, yeah.
This
please,
is actually a really,
I want to hear about
really
this
interesting
shit.
story.
I
Okay,
totally forgot.
so
I'm
Josh,
sorry.
you remember my house in Fleming Island, right?
Vaguely,
Okay,
like
so
I went
we-
out there like once.
Okay, so yeah,
I remember it was a party
I had a
house.
house. Yeah, it was a big party house, big, nice little 6-bedroom house in Fleming Island. Thought it was cool.
It was baller.
And I went, and it was 4th of July, and which is I hate to add that little anecdote detail because it seems it gives it less credibility, right? But I had a party going on at my house. My friend Jordan Bias, who I'll tag in this, he was there.
What up, Jordan? Vlad, what's
yeah,
good?
Ashley, Salvador.
Oh, Ashley.
Ashley
Yeah.
was there. My daughter. I'll tag you as well. You don't have a Facebook, but
You get tag Ava.
yeah. So everybody else was inside, right? And I go out for whatever reason. I think I wanted to smoke a cigarette or something, maybe hit a vape. I don't know what I did at the time, but I go out and out of nowhere, you saw this flash of light, and it looked like a spark, but something started falling from the sky, and I thought it was big, and I could tell it wasn't a firework, and I was like, man, it's gotta be a plane on fire. I think people are gonna die. Like I was like, my heart started pounding. I was like, some people are about to die. Like, and then I noticed I was like, dude, this coming at me. It's like coming my way, and then and at that moment I was like, I don't want to be by myself right now. You know, you would think that like you'd always think about yourself. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna have a lighter out, and I'm gonna signal UFOs and mine a lighter.
No.
Like, no, son. Like, I was like, yo, everybody, like, come out of the garage real fucking quick, come out. And so, luckily, they came out pretty quick, and I didn't even have to say anything. They were like, what the fuck? Like, what is that? And I'm like, you tell me, because I'll tell you when it finally came to where it was like, still, it was there for like 5 to 7 minutes. It was almost like at the end of our cul-de-sac, but it was less than 100 feet up. It was probably 50 feet up, 75, I don't know. But it was there for a minute, and inside of it, you could see there was like this coil. It was like the only way I could explain it. It was a coil, but like a light at the same time, and it was ripping back and forth and spinning, and it was beautiful. I mean, I was like mesmerized. I was like, this is like some Steven Spielberg shit. Like, like, what do I communicate with it? Does it rate me? What happens here? I'm waiting for Martians,
You spread your
like
cheeks
for
and lift
real.
your
Like,
sack.
but, it was kind of cool, yeah, right? Spread your cheeks. I'm like, yeah. So I didn't know what to do, man. But, it's one of those moments, like, I try to take a video of it. Obviously, that's what you want to do. But, I remember even playing music. My phone was at 20% when I went out, and then when I went to go take a video, my phone was at like 4%, and so I was like, oh crap, I at least have to take a picture. So I took a picture. Sure enough, my phone died soon after. Jordan has video of it, but he must have had like the nerves of I don't know, a chicken on the chopping block, because it's the shakiest thing
It's
ever.
because of the extreme zoom.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, probably. That's probably it.
It's unfortunate, but it's hard to not do it. You
Yeah.
see it and you're like, oh, I'm going to zoom in, and then you totally fuck up the video.
It's true, and I guess his phone
Happens
died
every
too.
time.
You got to film it and then zoom in post.
Yeah, so I
Keep
thought
that in
about,
mind, y'all, when you're shooting UFOs out there.
You hear that?
yeah,
Nate?
don't zoom in.
You zoom in post.
So I thought about doing a movie based on that, and I was gonna call it The Landing. Right?
And make it happen at the Jacksonville landing.
Well, which doesn't exist anymore, but I have
There you
pictures
go.
of it. Pictures of it when it's in rubble. We can like superimpose like an alien craft landing onto it and making it explode like that, since it's already kind of
Honestly,
rubble.
I'm a lawyer. I got a lot of money to invest. We'll just create a movie studio.
You want to be my lawyer
I mean, I
producer?
specifically do
I love it.
like criminal defense specifically. So like
That's
yes, but not on like a retainer thing. Just call me.
Yeah. Better call Saul style. I love it.
You're so fucking stupid. I love it.
So
So that was one of your UFO experiences.
Wait, does he
Yeah.
have more than one? Because that's pretty great story.
I mean, yeah, that was pretty. I mean,
That's the one
Do
you
you
were
feel
on the
getting-
news for, right?
getting on the news was kind of funny.
So you
the
go on
reason-
the news and what
So I
happens?
wasn't gonna. So I obviously didn't say anything for a while. You know, I could have called them that night and been like, "Hey," but like, it was kind of like one of those things for me. It was just amazing just to see. You know, I think I did submit it a couple of weeks later to a UFO sighting thing. I didn't really hear back from them. So
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Is your first thought UFO?
yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It was done, and you know, that's what everybody else thought too. And we didn't have to say it's a UFO.
Right.
We were all kind of shocked. You know, it was like you're looking right at it. It was you could clearly tell it wasn't anything you've ever seen before, and it was close enough with your own eyes to where even like the picture that I have of it, it almost looks like it's in motion. But that's just because the light's going back and forth so fast.
Did
that
it
like
change your life?
it made me, yeah, I would say it did actually, because I mean, I definitely became a seeker of knowledge outside of what I previously thought was real in reality. You know, I kept looking for like other things to relate to it. You know, and fun fact, you know how my grandfather is he actually was in aerospace engineering.
Ooh,
So
shit.
he came up with the formula to figure out the cost of building airplanes by the parts. So and he used to tell me about he took a fuselage and the man hours, and he came up with this shit
He's a fucking
somehow.
genius, dude.
Fucking genius,
That's what
right?
that is.
So check this out. So I'm cleaning out this house that I inherited, and I'm going through a fuck ton of files and junk, and I find this like file box, and in this file box is a bunch of files from Navy, Air Force thing. I didn't really go through it very much, but then there was like this photo album, and so I was like, oh, look at this photos, and it's photos from my grandfather back in the 40s, military, da 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 da, and so I set it down for a second, and then I was like, you know, I'm supposed to be doing work, I can't be looking at photos right now, but then someone was like, hey, look at that shit, and I was like, okay. So I picked it back up and I spun it around, and where I set it down, I closed it from the back, but I turned it back around, and like the back 10 pages were like clippings of UFO sightings from like the 40s all the way up through the 70s, where my grandfather had cut out clippings of UFO sightings and put it in this scrapbook.
That's so fucking crazy.
Isn't it?
And then you end up seeing a UFO.
Right. You know, and tying it all together, I was like, man, it was like, and it was like right after my grandfather. But no, it wasn't. No, it was before he passed away. He recently passed away. Here's to you, Papouli.
You probably.
Probably.
Great man. But yeah, so that was pretty. Yeah, you're good. Pretty intense, but
I'm not laughing at that, I swear to God.
that's appropriate. I hope you laugh like that at my funeral or yours. I mean, hopefully not yours. Like, that'd be the creepiest shit ever. Can you imagine like the gas? Like you let out one last. You're like on your deathbed, and like somebody touches your stomach and like just pushes gas out of your lungs. You're like ah!
Oh, that'd be
Creepy.
fucking great.
Hopefully not at your funeral. That would be creepy.
Yeah,
That was brilliant.
yeah. We were like, he did it. He fucking did it.
So,
Fuck,
so you
man.
saw UFOs. Now you were that wasn't the only time you've been on the news though. You were on ESPN, right?
It's
Yes.
a fucking celebrity,
Yeah.
dude.
So I run a local page called What's Good Jacksonville.
Shout out
And-
Fire.
Yeah, right.
Talk
And-
about that for a second now. Like what is What's Good Jacksonville?
You know, it started out as just a page dedicated to Duval. You know, I feel like I'm a homegrown kid, and I feel like I had a voice that was kind of on a comedic side. I've always had a passion for comedy, and I feel like it's a good way to bridge and connect people. So I found that, you know, by obtaining like just making my own memes and making, you know, my own videos and content, that I can splice in, you know, Jacksonville with my own stuff and kind of blend myself in as like, you know, my own hometown personality. So I mean, people look at me as like, I walk down the street sometimes and it's weird. I mean, I forget that I'm not to say I'm like a celebrity like in my own right, but you know, we definitely grew a lot faster than I ever anticipated. So like our analytics are crazy. Like organically, we reach over 1 million people a month on Facebook.
That's fucking insane.
Organically. And I think it's kind of
Congratulations, that's awesome.
Appreciate it, man.
Seriously,
yeah,
I'm not even.
Yeah,
thank
that's
you.
an accomplishment.
Fucking sick, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
appreciate it. So, I always try to put myself out there and promote in ways, that's funny and on time. Timing my jokes are very important. So I like to add in sometimes something popular with something hometown-esque. That's kind of seems to be a good formula. So this time around was Gardner Minshew. So if anyone is a fan of football, they watch Gardner Minshew in the preseason of the Jacksonville Jaguars, where he got hit by one of the Ravens' defensive line and just basically annihilated it. Like he got his helmet took off. I mean, there's a really good picture. He says it didn't hurt, but damn, his face said different. I mean,
There's no way that didn't hurt.
Right.
Dude.
It looked painful, right? So immediately I'm at the Jaguar game, and I'm all what's good Jaxed out. I mean, I just got to party with the tailgate. I mean, I had hosted
I've been to your tailgate.
Oh, nice. Yeah. So I hosted a tailgate.
That's
with,
not what I thought. How I knew you from. I think we knew you from you coming on my podcast and me coming on yours as people who didn't know each other.
Oh, cool.
But I met you at your tailgate, and I remember now. You know, Easy, Anna McCanda, Anna.
Thanks.
You do.
Anna, yes.
And
I
Love
do.
Culture and all them.
Yep.
Those are all like my best friends.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. So there we go.
Okay.
Figured it out.
That's another place. I don't think that's how we originally.
It's not, but that's
Yeah,
how maybe
that's
in person.
one.
I bet we
Okay.
partied together.
Probably.
You know,
I mean,
life.
So I'm I hosted at tailgate, so I'm freaking pumped up, and I saw Gardner, like Nick Foles gets injured like the first possession. I'm heartbroken, but I knew it's an opportune moment for me to like make a joke to kind of ease the pain right now. So I was like, Gardner Minshew cannot. I didn't know who this kid was, so I was just like, he just got lit up by the Ravens. So I was like, I made a meme. It was like, don't put me in, coach. Don't put me in, coach. Don't put me in, coach. Nick Foles gets hurt. Like, in goes Gardner Minshew. I was like, fuck. So it went pretty funny. It went viral on Facebook pretty quickly because I posted it almost instantly. And so it got that instant fan reaction. But then there goes the game, and he fucking kills. I mean, he had one of the highest completing percentage of any starting quarterback, especially in the rookie year. Starting out, I thought he did amazing. So I'm like, damn, I had to like pay tribute to this guy. Who the fuck is Gardner Minshew? Mm-hmm. So I started looking him up and looking at his, how he, he was an underdog his whole career and how he went on to win, for his college team and how he's like just a cool guy to be around. I mean, he's a Mississippi kid, but I thought he was just white trash enough to like, without being like cheesy. And it's like the ladies love him. The men want to be him. He's like Austin
white
Powers.
trash. He's
like
not a hick. He's not a redneck.
Right.
He's just pure white trash.
Yes.
I fucking love that, dude.
I'll be
I love
honest.
it.
I feel like What's Good Jax played a big part in the Minshew Mania. That
1,000%.
kind of
I was
blew up.
definitely on the start the cusp.
Yeah.
So that same week, I like to think it was probably that Monday, that night that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna call a barber and see if he can do a design in my hair and make it badass. And so I called Felix Reyes. Shout out to Felix.
Shout out.
Got him faded.
That shit
got him
looked
faded.
dope.
Hold on. So this was actually a collaboration cut.
Oh,
so
shit.
what he said is like,
Whoa.
man, you know what? I could try it, but I got somebody that would kill. So he called Shadow Banks, Abner Santiago. Shout out. So I woke up at 4:30 in the morning, drove all the way over to Orange Park off Wells Road, and met them at their I'm not gonna shout their barbershop. They haven't paid me, so I'm just kidding.
My dog.
Yeah, I just don't remember it actually. So,
Oof.
but I went to the
Sorry,
barbershop.
Their full names.
Yeah, I'll tag you guys in it. You can call me out later. You guys give me a free haircut. I got you all day. You already know how the rules. You know the game goes. But yeah, so they did a collaboration cut. Felix gave me the fade, and Abner did it. It didn't even take him that long. He was looking at a picture, and he cut it so nice and so quick. The whole time we were jazzed up. We smoked the L beforehand, and so I came out of the chair, and man, I was so surprised at how good it looked. I was like, holy crap! Okay, this. I mean, he made it look like
This
he had
shit looked clean.
He looked like he had stubble and everything. Like it
It's
was
like a fucking tattoo in a
holy
way.
fuck. Yeah, exactly. Outlined and everything. So, I kind of knew it was gonna go viral. I kind of called it ahead of time. I was like, this is gonna go fucking viral. Like this is sick. So, It was less than 24 hours later. I had the barber sent me. I was like, dude, has the reporters reached out to you yet? Have the reporters reached out? So apparently, like when I posted it immediately with What's Good Jax, of course. So it got leaked somewhere. I think 97.9 Kiss FM. They shared it, like a couple of in the 93.3. A couple of the radio stations shared it, and then I got somebody reached out to me on Facebook. He was like, "Hey man, are you the guy with the Gardner Minshew haircut?" I'm like, "Bro, it's my profile picture." Yes, you reached out to me on Facebook, but I thought it was funny. He's like, "Hey, would you mind if we share your story? Can you give me a piece?" So I went on again on a ramble all about What's Good Jax and how I was trying to plug myself 100 ways.
Of course.
And it shared the smallest quote from me and just my hair. So he didn't put anything about What's Good Jax in it. It's funny, but
I noticed that it was like the smallest of quotes or whatever.
I was disappointed. And it was like an article about the barber. I'm like, I should get free haircuts for life, which he would oblige if I ever asked him. But I don't believe in that. Like I feel like they're almost like trying to make it too. So tit for tat.
I mean, everyone's trying to make
Are you
it.
gonna do it again this season?
Huh?
Are you gonna do it again for this season?
I might do something else. If you know any tattoo artists out there that are looking to get on the money,
I'm a tattoo artist. I got you.
That's a little scary.
I'm just kidding.
If we have anyone that's at a shop with a certification in safety standards,
I got you for real. I want fucking tattoos. I have a great person.
No,
for you.
I'm sure you do have a great person, but I want it for free. So,
well, I mean, what do you want to get first? Let's talk about what do you want to get.
I'm gonna market this shit for free. No, I don't want it for free. I don't want a free tattoo. That would turn out like a clown.
I'm being serious right now. If you tell me what you want,
we'll talk after the podcast.
Okay.
We'll
yeah, we can't.
I want this to go viral. So,
whoop whoop,
boom boom. Okay, so hold on now. What's Good Jax?
Probably a downtown landscape or something with What's Good Jax.
What is your vision for that?
Oh, okay. So, the end game is at first I was like, man, I was just happy that people enjoy the content, and so I sat down for a little bit and actually gave true thought to that, and I said, What's Good Jacksonville? Well, ideally it was never just my voice. I never wanted to have necessarily a spotlight on me. I kind of wanted to share it. I kind of wanted to share. There's so many creatives in Jacksonville. I mean, art, music. I mean, there's so many people, but they don't feel like they ever have a chance here. So, because it's such a Baptist city, so they end up leaving, right? Well, that's because they don't have a platform. Nobody gives them the platform. It's such a big city, but it's not connected. And so, I thought, I was like, what a way to bridge the city. I want to kind of create a hub for everything good in Jax. But how do you do that in a way that people will actually find useful?
Dank memes.
So no. So this is the end game here. So at first I was thinking app, but you don't need an app these days, and I don't want to take up space on anybody's phone. So ideally we want to create something called What's Poppin', right? So where you tell everybody else what's good in Jacksonville. You create a user login to where you're able to drop pins throughout the city for different categories: good eats, good drinks, good times, good deals. And then What's Poppin'. So that night, it's the nightlife section where you're able to drop pins based on drink specials, karaoke, ladies' night, and then you can upload with pictures. Every profile will have its own user rating based on if you're an explorer of the city, kind of like how Google does. But because we want to be able to provide through our sponsors and through the businesses we work with, chances for people to get stuff. If you rate enough places, we can win merch, we can enter more raffle tickets for our giveaways that we do.
Can I ask a tough question?
Sure.
How do you limit yourself from not letting businesses pay to go to the top of your list?
Because I let the people decide. Because What's Poppin' is a collective pin drop from the city. I'm not gonna do a once a year Best of Jax. By the way, I also own the domains Best of Jax and Jax Best on Instagram.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and the .coms, believe it or not.
Are you fucking serious?
And I own welcome to Duval.com.
What?
So welcome to Duval.com is coming soon, where we're going to be host site for coming to Jacksonville. We're going to be doing everything great.
That's fantastic.
Have you always been?
I also own the City of Jacksonville page on Facebook, and I've been slowly trolling the city
Are you
for
serious?
many months now.
What?
Is fucking insane, dude.
Yeah.
That is
All right,
awesome.
okay. You think differently than I think, right?
Clearly.
And I think
I'm an
differently
alien,
than Josh
bro.
thinks.
That's
okay,
right.
we're all aliens,
Mhm.
and what I'm saying is, you think comedically in a different way, and I also think comedically in a different way than Josh.
Mhm.
Explain. Have you always been into like, not computers in a way, but like you kind of.
Oh yeah, so in 8th grade, my parents tried to homeschool me because I was bored in class. I couldn't really pay attention, so they tried to homeschool me and give me some direction. And I found the code to get my dad's password, so I could just hit a couple keys real quick, and it would flash the answers to every quiz and every test that I had to do. So in the morning, I'd get my homework and on all my tests, and I was smart enough to not get an A on everything. That was the key.
Right.
And then the rest of the day, I'd sit there and watch Maury, Wheel of Fortune. I'd be fucking
Honestly,
dude,
like my parents,
jerking off 1,000 times.
The
you
problem
know?
with me, like my parents thought I was so amazing that I could have just gotten hundreds on everything. They would have fucking totally believed it, dude. 1,000%. That's why I fucked up in life,
That's too funny.
because I would just
Yeah.
cheat. My parents were like, "Oh, you're good."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd cheat on both sides of it. Like I'd forge my report card, and
always.
then I'd forge my dad's signature on the report card. You know,
I forged my
like-
dad's signature on like leases for cars and like. No, I'm just kidding around. Jesus Christ, guys, come on.
Jesus.
That was a pretty solid joke though.
I believe it. I believe it.
No, that's the one thing. As a junkie, I've never stolen from my dad, and I should have. I had so many opportunities to write blank checks.
Who's the electric in whose name is the electric in your house? Is it your name?
Electrician? No,
You got your cable in your name?
dude.
Phone bill? Do you have your law practice in your name?
Yeah, you know.
There we go.
You know that's a joke, right?
No, you're not a lawyer.
He's not a lawyer.
Oh my God! So
Or
I
a
believed
tattoo
you.
artist.
Or a tattoo artist. Okay.
I thought the wallpaper man outside
No,
might give it away.
Listen. A lawyer, I might believe.
You think I'd be a lawyer? That'd be cool, right?
I mean, you know what? I was kind of hoping more than thinking.
All right, I'm gonna be honest
Right.
with you.
I was like, dude,
I'm
I
gonna edit
got a
this out.
badass lawyer.
I'm gonna edit this out.
That's my
Okay?
Jamie over there.
This
That's
is
my
real
bodyguard.
shit. I'll tell you what I am.
And I brought a bodyguard with me, by the way.
I'm an
I
FBI
noticed.
agent. Real shit. But I'm undercover as a lawyer. That's real shit. Okay? So we're good?
All right. So that's a new Netflix series
All right.
coming out called Schizophrenia.
Speaking of that, did you hear about this happened I think like 15 years ago or something. In Jack's Beach at that McDonald's, there was like this homeless guy that would always go there, and he was schizophrenic, and he thought he was in the KGB but as an American like spy.
This is a real story?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
It's real. I'm not fucking with you.
I mean, I've seen a lot of crazy shit in Jacksonville, man.
Especially
I
at
mean,
that like Jack's Beach McDonald's and shit. Like
or the excuse me, sorry, the fast food chains, any fast food chain on Atlantic Boulevard near the Regency Square
truth,
Mall. You go to the Taco Bell. I had almost guy right outside my window and have it on video. It was kind of funny, but he's yelling rack ball. Or not rack ball. It's red man. The red man. And I guess because the reflection of some sign was like making this guy's skin look red. He was like, the red man. The red man's gonna get you. The red man.
Dude,
Terrifying, actually.
crack cocaine and being
You look
awake for like 3
Candyman.
days,
You ever seen
will,
Candyman?
you'll lose your mind. I've never seen Candyman. I know what it is. Is it worth watching?
Freaking
No.
terrible. Well,
It's
I mean,
terrifying.
all
it was
right.
good back in the day.
when you're a kid.
Yeah,
on.
I was gonna say like
It was like you rewatch Nightmare on Elm Street. Terrible.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. But
They're all
it is
there.
worth watching for the cult reference and
You know
everything
what holds
like
up
that.
though
Mhm.
is Halloween holds up. The original Halloween holds up to
Okay.
me.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
She okay. It's not that I wouldn't fuck her, but I wouldn't like try that hard.
Wait, are we talking
Yeah.
about short hair Jamie Lee Curtis?
Any Jamie
or-
Lee
okay.
Curtis, whatever, even the
We're
hottest.
talking about
version.
Freaky Friday, Jamie.
Right? Like
Yeah, when she was Lindsay Lohan, I would have fucked that version.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would fuck Lindsay Lohan. That's the point.
Yeah, we got that.
Trading Places, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Ooh.
I'm just saying, what is she on a scale of 1 to 10? What does Jamie Lee Curtis do?
Which Jamie Lee Curtis are we talking about?
Your favorite version.
Okay, I'd say she's a strong 7.5.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Okay. I mean, 7-Up is the rule. That's like I don't know. I didn't think she was.
Wait, 7-Up's the rule. Does that mean you would discriminate against anything below a 7?
Yeah.
Or Sprite.
You would just
Right. Thank you for getting that.
You would just decline?
Yes, dude.
Really?
I'm a fucking 28-year-old adult. I'm not smashing gross puss no more, dude.
When was the last time you fucked a fat chick?
Dude. When was the last time I fucked a fat chick?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Ooh.
I
You guys are my worst friends.
don't even know, dude. And I used to, but
Yeah.
like,
Why am I doing this again?
okay, I got something for you. Do you believe in like a sexual ceiling in a way?
A sexual ceiling?
Okay, to be a good spouse, a man has to have already fucked enough bitches. Not good girls, straight up hoe bitches. Like I'm gonna fuck these girls.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I think a man having to fuck other women is just displaced energy from him not truly finding his place in what he needs to do.
I'm talking just me personally.
I say instead of fucking another girl, if you have a good girl and you're happy with it, right? I would say instead of doing that, go do a psychedelic experience.
Or just whack off. But like to me, it's
Whack off definitely, because then you
whack off on a psychedelic experience, right?
After you,
Whoa.
dude. Because I mean, I'll tell you one thing,
Levels.
right? Don't mix those. Probably not. Because it's very ceremonious in those things. If you go deep in those waters, man, you better tread lightly, because you'll drown. You have to, like, I don't know, prepare yourself for days in advance. I don't know if we do the same drugs, but yeah.
I've never had to
think so.
prepare for days to masturbate on any drug.
No, well, you want some poison frog medicine?
It's usually something that just kind of happens.
Yeah, no,
All I do on drugs is masturbate.
like,
It's kind of like how you got to try it out, right? Like, oh, this drug's interesting. I wonder what it's like to come.
swinging on a rope over a lit candle. It's called Mortal Kombat. You gotta come before the rope breaks.
Oh God!
Be on no uppers. If you are on uppers, you will not come. You will get your dick cut, dude.
How many times that's
Every time.
gone south for me? You always think, how do I get girls? Bring cocaine.
Oh,
Guess
yeah.
what? You ever had cocaine?
I've always thought like okay, so I've got limited cocaine experience. I've probably tried it like 19 times or something like that.
That's limited.
That's honestly limited. I mean, you got to do it at least 1,000 to say you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I'm certainly no expert on the subject, right? But one thing I've noticed is that the ladies love the blow.
Yeah,
And
you know what
he
they
who
really
has
love
the
more?
blow
Strippers love
has the
I mean,
best
really.
show at the strip club,
Exactly.
right? And but what's funny is like you do a bunch of coke, then you got coke dick. What are you supposed to do with these horny ass ladies?
My point.
I can fuck on
primarily.
coke, to be honest with you. But if I'm like back in the day, I used to smoke hard. There's no fucking chance. I could not. Like,
So you can fuck on coke, just not crack.
nope.
Got you.
That's where it gets weird.
You smoke the crack, you ain't getting no crack.
Exactly. But it's weird. Okay, so as sexually deviant as cocaine makes you, crack is way gnarlier, dude.
Oh god.
And it sucks because
Just
there
like
is no
the
solution.
worst shit. I would rip her skin off.
No,
and fuck her.
no. Just like, I need to bust this nut, and it doesn't happen. So, if you are a girl who has a bad sex life, get your boyfriend hooked on crack, and he will make you come 1,000,000 times, and he'll never be able to come.
You hear that, ladies?
There's
Get your
something
man
there.
on crack. He may sell her your jewelry while you're sleeping, but he'll fuck your brains out.
Date a rich dude and let him fucking go nuts.
You may not be able to microwave or toast your strudels because he's already microwaved and pawned your appliances. But
Good
Yeah.
God.
You guys just haven't lived, man.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, I've lived.
There's levels.
Yeah, there's levels.
There are.
I think you're on a lower one than me.
I think that I'm on in terms of human
Listen.
experiences, I'm on a higher level, bro.
When you're a god, you don't have to participate in mortal pleasures.
That's what I'm saying. I feel
I
like
disagree.
in no way.
You've never done acid.
I've never done acid, but I fucking shot meth into my veins, you bitch.
Sure. Right.
Have you done
There's-
that?
No, but there's a big
No.
fucking difference
He
in the
gets
two.
defensive. Listen, I'll tell you one thing. One thing I've learned
this like a lawyer
there is
situation? Am I being serious?
There is definitely a difference in drugs.
1,000%.
There's a difference between mushrooms and there's a difference between acid.
100%.
There's a difference between San Pedro and ayahuasca and DMT and changa. There's a difference between all these drugs.
I never tried any of those, the DMT or the ayahuasca.
Oh, brother, that's what I'm talking about when I say go.
I
the
would
other side.
love to
'Cause,
try that.
listen, what
shit.
I like,
I'm scared.
the thing about ayahuasca and DMT is ayahuasca is like a full blown vacation, whereas like DMT is a
Right
peek,
here,
a
right
peek
now.
over the fence. You know,
We could do it right now.
right? And 5 minutes later, you're just gonna be like, "What the fuck just
Have you ever
happened to
done
me?"
salvia?
Yes, I've done salvia
How
when
was
I was
that?
in high school.
I feel like DMT would be similar to salvia in the fact that it's like just short lived.
Negative.
No,
Negative. If I told you about my DMT experience, you wouldn't believe me. And luckily,
would believe you, actually.
Luckily, I have witnesses.
I can't
You
Wait
know what?
to hear
Even
about
no
it.
witness. I completely believe you, and I want to hear it.
So
How about that?
I didn't tell you about my San Pedro experience. So I went to South Florida for a ceremony, a quick trip, just a day trip. I mean, we stayed overnight, but
The fuck is San Pedro, dude?
San Pedro cactus is a cactus medicine, comes from Peru. They call it San Pedro because it means Saint Peter. It's believed that the spirit of Saint Peter lives in the cactus, and when extracted from the cactus and made into a drinkable form, then a spirit comes to you and guides you. It takes you by the hand when you don't even realize it's happened until you're walking with it. And that's very similar to what happened with me, man. It was an unbelievable journey. It was like one of those things that you.
Do you disassociate completely? Do you sit and disassociate, or are you aware of your surroundings but you're tripping?
No, I'm aware.
You're
very,
fucking
very much.
tripping
I wouldn't
balls.
even call it tripping. It was more like a feeling that of parts of you that opened up emotionally and connected on levels like healing times. Like it was like spiritual medicine. It was like something I never, I kind of made myself numb over my 31 years of this earth, getting racked with everything that life brings you. And it really does kind of clean your senses, and it makes you sense things more deeply and feel things like you're feeling them for the first time, but yet it's like a sense of belonging. I don't know. It was amazing. It was great. But it was the DMT that rocked my world. It was the DMT that night. So the shaman only had enough DMT for one of us to go through a full experience. And I guess he came to me that night and he's like, "Hey man," basically he's like, "Mother Aya is calling you, and this is all for you. This I want you to have this because I feel like this is needed in your life." And I was like, "Okay." So like took it very serious. I mean, these people are very, very awake to this medicine, I'll say that. And so I kind of said to myself, I was like, whatever. I've always wanted to do DMT, so I've learned about it. I've done changa, which is kind of a form of it, but this is like the real deal, Holyfield. And like bust out the crack pipe, so he busts out the crack pipe and
Is there Brillo in it?
no, but I'm trying to set my mind so that I'm like trying to set myself up to accept whatever comes, not try and relay information, but kind of just transceive and receive what's going on. And I hit it like 3 times and held it in, blew out, held it in, blew out, held it in, blew out, and laid back. And as I laid back, I felt myself coming, like I was moving forward, even though I was laying down. And at that moment, it was like 2 shutters almost opened up instantly without me realizing that they had already opened. And I felt like at first I was being led into a room that, like your feet are floating on a escalator, where it's just moving like an airport, moving you along. But I saw like I was coming into a room, but it was like I was being hoisted out of the ground more than coming into a room. and it was like two beings were there. I had one of the beings had its back to me. The other one was like welcoming me.
Did you feel ascension?
Ascension,
Okay.
yeah. So I felt a lifted forward motion, and I was like, oh my gosh, like he's like excited to see me, and he's like grabs me by my feet, and he looks like he like rubs my body down, and then I'm like looking at the other one. I'm starting to get nervous because the other one has his back to me, and so I look up, and he turns around and he blows this dust in my mouth. That's the only way I can explain it. And at that moment, like I had to lift up my shirt, and when I did, it looked like a hand was kind of coming through my stomach and like moving through my body, and the real talk. And I started going and like spitting all this stuff around the room, and then I felt like I got lifted up like on a platform, and I stood up. And I was laying down, so I felt like I didn't even move my knees. And they said I came up out of the chair and like stood up and was like stiff as a board. And they were like they like tried to lay me down, but I was like stiff. And this big pit bull like jumped behind me, and like I guess I fell on this dog, and like I woke up because it was like and like I woke up real quick, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what the fuck is going on? And then I went back into it, and it was the same trip. It was the same beings, and one of them was wearing a shirt that I could tell was like a What's Good Jax shirt, and he's looking at me, and he's like showing me, he's like pulling it out, and he's like, look, motherfucker, I got a What's Good Jax shirt on. And I was like, oh, that's cool, but I was like, I kind of don't like the design. I don't know why I thought that. I don't know why I thought that.
Did you already have shirts?
Yeah.
Damn it. That would have been so cool if you didn't have shirts, and
Yeah.
that's how
Oh,
you realized you should make shirts. You should lie and say that,
no,
dude.
right. I have
Honestly.
one shirt. I have one design shirt, but
I'm talking about previous to the trip.
right. Yeah,
Okay.
I have one. Yeah, I have
Okay.
one shirt.
That would've
But-
been so
But he
cool.
turns around and he turns around and he like shows that he can turn around and instantly wear another shirt. So he's like wearing a white one this time, and he's like, "You like this one?"
That's a
I'm like,
flex.
so I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I can't." And so I'm like, I can't believe I'm seeing this right now. So I had to like tell everyone what I'm seeing. Like I woke up, I opened my eyes, I'm like, "They're wearing my fucking shirts," and like I went back into it apparently, and like it was literally like I was in the room with two other beings, but there was another presence there that was like kind of like allowing all this to take place, which is it was just a sense that I got. And it felt like I was in Egypt, like it was like I was in like like a tomb room.
Whoa.
Like a tomb room. I wouldn't even say it like Egypt. It was like white stone. I don't know how like limestone. It was amazing. It was cool, dude. It was like one of those things I don't know.
I think that it actually sounds like fucking like old Greece.
Yeah.
And you're Greek, dude. They had like the white. They were all about the white brick back when shit was popping for y'all.
Yeah,
When y'all
that's
were
true.
crushing the world.
That's true. However,
Y'all had beautiful white
I've
shit.
thought about this really hard. And that could be who the fuck knows. But I thought about
I
this
don't.
long and hard. But I was like, it's almost like we have two beings that live in our body, and then when one is asleep, the other one's awake. So when you're awake, it's like one being's awake and it's present, and the other one's asleep. And when you go to sleep, that other one wakes up and it takes over in the subconscious realm. However, when you take this kind of medicine, it's like they both wake up at the same time. That's what you're in a heightened sense of like vibrational awareness.
I have a very similar thing. We were talking about the two in your head. You got the two.
The pineal gland.
No. I know exactly what you're talking. I'm talking about not mental illness, but like
Duality.
exactly. Good job, Matt. Very good. So that's your one time
duality,
taking
man.
the deems.
Yeah, I mean it's enough for you to kind of like take. It's like, what do you fucking do now that you see these beings and you're communicating with them and they're happy to see you? It's like it. I don't know, man. It's like
You
after
haven't
seeing
tried
you,
to chase the
after
dragon, though?
seeing-
You haven't tried to go back?
You know, I'm actually hosting a ceremony.
You're a shaman now.
Well, I'm not a shaman. I'm hosting a ceremony where shamans are coming.
Whoa.
Shamans are coming from South Florida very soon, October 2nd to 3rd.
Where do you do
Wait,
this
you've
at?
got like a whole event going on,
Yes,
don't
I
you?
do.
Before you plug it, I just have one, and this is kind of plugging it, but is it like a campground or is it like a fucking Sheridan?
So and that's the thing. We've been trying to figure out, because my house is still kind of put together, kind of not. I'm trying to figure out a good hosting site. So, and plus, I have to have location disclosed the day of, obviously for obvious reasons. So it gives me enough time between now and then to kind of figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. It's gonna be nice. We're talking about doing it at a park, but here's the kind of medicine set up. So we have Combo, which Combo is a like poison frog medicine where basically it's a MEO5 inhibitor gets put on your arm and you go into another realm. And
That's technically real DMT.
right.
Like
And then
the most pure.
exactly the most real. It's also most dirty, but it's also the realest, you know. And
When you say the most dirty,
well,
are there like
I'm saying whenever you smoke it in the purest form, it's this could make you purge, like it can make you vomit, or you know.
okay?
So
It's like the strongest shit.
yeah, it's
Gotcha.
strong. It's
You
strong.
know.
So it's like uncut cocaine. So
Oof.
Pure fentanyl.
yeah, but I would say this. You know, we'll have we'll have ayahuasca. So anyone that wants to try the full-fledged vacation journey, which I'm probably gonna do. I haven't done it. I'm scared, but I'll do it. And then we'll have the San Pedro cactus, which is a very light medicine, but it is definitely worth one of those experiences. I'd say the San Pedro cactus was probably the most awakening feeling, because I mean that journey was really cool. I mean I cried my eyes out like a baby, but I mean it was the greatest experience I've ever had.
Crying is so fun.
Yeah,
Honestly,
very releasing.
it feels so good.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Of course,
Well,
you
no, I
would.
never cry. Let that dude, Josh. I swear, you need to come to this ceremony, and for the first time in probably your whole life, you'll let out so many different emotions you didn't even know you had, bro. You'd be like, it's like cleaning a kitchen sink that's been dirty, and then your fucking garbage disposal doesn't work anymore. It's like
All
of
your
a sudden-
toxic masculinity, dude. Just let it out, man. Do some San Pedro, some
You
ayahuasca.
know what's funny?
shoot
Like
some dope. Fuck it.
Like I don't normally cry for any reason at all or anything. However, I never stop crying. Like I don't know if you notice, my eyes never stop watering.
I've
Like
seen that.
24/7. Like so, I think maybe I'm incapable of crying because I'm always crying.
You're a sociopath.
or he's Ted Bundy, and
Fucking psycho.
that's why I
dude.
brought a bodyguard.
What do you think is more psychotic? Somebody who fucking never cries, or someone who's always fucking crying, dude?
Definitely the second one is the most annoying, at least. The thing is, I don't mind crying if it's done in the right fashion. Like if you over cry, that's the worst. If you over cry, if it's sincere tears,
If the
I don't
mood
care.
makes sense, get
Yeah.
it. You
when
know
a
what
dude
I mean?
starts crying and it passes that time, it's fucking
You ever
scary.
seen your dad cry?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I
My
saw my
dad's an emotional drunk.
my dad cried for the first time during Independence Day. Back to
Movie?
Aliens. Yeah, I was
like,
in the movie.
like
I was in the movie
IV4,
theater.
like the movie.
I was in the movie
like-
theater when he's like, "I love you, son," and the guy killed himself. Crashing into the.
Yeah.
I looked over at my dad, and my dad had this fucking crocodile tear rolling down. I was like, "Men cry during movies and shit." So
Only if they got a vagina where their penis.
hey,
goes
listen,
through.
you.
I'm just kidding. I love your dad.
Oh yeah, I forgot you knew my dad.
Yeah. How's he doing? Is he good?
Yeah, he's good, man. He's
Good.
he's in a rock band right now called Off Our Rockers, Off Hour, HOUR.
yeah.
Yeah, he's in a.
Is he touring and shit? Well,
No, he's in. Yeah,
nobody's touring now.
Yeah,
but
no, he's playing them little gigs down there, but he's staying steady with it.
good,
you know?
good.
Yeah, it's fun stuff, man.
That's
How
awesome.
is it to have a cool dad, dude? My dad's very cool. I'm not saying I don't
yeah,
know. I'm just
no,
wondering. How does it
it's
feel?
cool because he's always been almost like the same person. You know, I never got like he's never been heightenedly emotional where he's like got angry at me for no reason. Like I felt like he's always been pretty chill. You know, he's always been like my go-to for advice in situations because he's been like my Mr. Miyagi in a way because he's always been like a centered person. And I'm like, dude, how are you so centered? Like, and he's like, I like to feel like my thoughts come from my chest. And therefore, like I live below the surface of the water, the lake. Like your body is like the ocean, and when you live below the surface, the waves don't matter. It's like I'm like fucking okay, dude. You're like
Dad, where can
yeah.
I get some of your weed?
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
what?
My dad told me a funny story. This is kind of funny. My dad was he was drafted into the army, but he decided to join and become a medic, and he was on shift in Korea as like an ambulance. He was a medic and like the medical field, whatever. But he dropped acid one night when they were bored because they never got called to do anything. And that night, he's like, he got some really good acid he's been saving up, and that night he like dropped it. He said as soon as he started like really tripping. They got a call because there was a race riot going on. And
shit.
and he said he had to go show up, and there was like black people and white people fighting, and they're like, it's like just
shit.
like it's like
Your dad walks in between everyone. He's like,
stop tripping.
Can we all just get along?
Yeah. You ever watch
unnecessary.
You ever watch The Men That Stare at Goats?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. That movie kind of got to me too, because that's actually a real experiment where they gave them psychedelics to get in touch with like their inner being, so they can remote view. And there's a.
So you listen to Rogan. I think the best episode ever is the Manson dude who came on in for 20 years, wrote the book for 20 years, researching Charles Manson.
Oh,
No one knows what I'm talking about.
I don't know if
I sent it to you.
I listened to
No, you
almost every
didn't.
one of his
I did.
podcasts. I'm surprised I didn't.
I was happy to pull my phone out and fucking recording on it.
Do you remember his name?
He'll find it because I texted him. It's like one of the first. Okay. Speaking of Korea, it's all about MK Ultra and Charles Manson, and he was like,
Oh yes, I did see that, but he was yes,
dude, that.
yeah.
I've been listening to Rogan for years too. It's like that shit right there was fucking.
Yeah, when he was actually found to be a CIA agent, that's pretty. That's so eye opening. You know, the government did so many different secret, projects.
What are they doing now? So okay, all right. I truly was a drug addict. I'm not bullshitting about that. And I feel like we text about it. We do all this stuff that you can't do. No one ever gets caught, dude. Like, I was around people who acted like they were operating with impunity. Okay? Like, like, this fentanyl was fucking good, dude. Like, too high up of a level to be at street level. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And people are dropping like flies. And it's like, in some way, this has to be facilitated through similar. It's like they're doing a different type of control now. Like before, they were trying to study how this acid, LSD, affected human beings. And now they're like, how can we control human beings and like wipe out pretty much the upper middle class? Because we see all these people and they're all strung out and they're on the streets and they look poor as fuck, but like no one. If you're getting into hard drugs, you're gonna have to have some money to get started. Like $20 for when you see a $20 bag of fucking heroin, it looks like, how the fuck is that $20? And unless you have a bunch of $20 to spend, you're not gonna do it because it looks not worth it.
I mean, there's a ton of different experiments that the government's done on society, unsuspecting. You know, where they did like the twins, where they split up twins.
Oh,
And that's pretty incredible how they do kind of stuff like that. I never would have thought that. It's kind of things you read about in science fiction, but never think that they would actually do.
you know,
What
just
won't
like
they do?
how you think of some idea and you type it in on Google, and it's already on there. Think of evil shit, and it's happening.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm very.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of future talks and summits. There's one that's going on.
Did you watch Neural Net demo?
Yes.
Hell yeah, give me
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Love it.
So Neuralink. So that's
Yeah, it is Neuralink.
yeah,
Sorry.
that's getting me. So the
Pennsylvania.
the good one is coming from Dr. Peter Diamandis and Ray Kurzweil. They have something called Singularity University, and I don't know if you know what the singularity
Yes.
point is. It's a point where technology is expanded through Moore's law, where we don't even know what's coming next, and it just develops. Like they're expecting this AI system, when it's developing other AI systems, to be able to come up with, Nobel Prize winning discoveries every 5 seconds, and that's the kind of rate that life changes from that point on. And Neuralink is either going to save us or completely destroy us, as humanity.
I think it's gonna save us, dude. Like in terms of,
I think it's the beginning of the end.
it's the beginning of the end of human beings being here on Earth.
Well, he said we will have the option. Now, one of the London Real talks I read, I forgot what the guy that went on. He's been on Rogan a lot, but the long-haired guy. Anyway, he said, we'll have two options. He said, you can either upload your consciousness into the neural net mind matrix, where you can be anywhere all the time, looking through computers or other bodies or what have you. He's like, there's really no limit, or you can keep your body and have, implants like the Neuralink, where you'll be able to communicate with other beings without communication. And they believe that it's only 5 to 10 years away for us to not be speaking anymore, not have to use language. No, and how do you predict the future there? No podcast. I mean, what's the point of this podcast if you can already know what I'm thinking, or all the information's accessible at all times, and you'll be able to replay memories in perfect order and even edit it to make you feel better about it, or if you're not feeling bad, or if you're feeling bad.
Well, that gets weird, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Edit
hold on. None
memories.
of this matters. Once we are
Right.
there and you have this, none of this
None of
matters.
it
And all we
matters.
have time to do is use all that fucking power to figure everything else out that we haven't. Anything we
Right.
figured out becomes obsolete. And now it's time to figure out what we don't know. And that's why I'm fucking stoked for it. Not because
all
you
this
can replay your
sidebar
memories.
conversation about and then that's why I feel like this election is bullshit. They're really okay. It goes beyond. I think Donald Trump's going to be the last president. Okay, and it's going to cause such an uproar that there won't be any more presidents after Donald Trump. I'm saying it
not
right here. I'm
against that.
saying it right here on this podcast. There will not be another president
Do you
past
think
Donald.
he takes the 2020
Trump.
election?
I think it'll take that, but it's also
I
going
think
to
he's going
take.
to landslide, to be
There's
honest
going to
with you.
take an advancement in technology that takes everybody's mind off of the side conversation and puts us all into one. Like I said, there's going to be technology that comes out. Did you guys hear about the theory where there was a book that came out in the 1890s that's called Baron Trump?
Oh, dude, this shit is fucking insane.
Yeah.
This is tell people
So-
about this. This
so-
is fucking insane, Josh.
So this author wrote a book called Baron Trump. It was about a boy named Baron who grew up in New York around Fifth Avenue, who had a mentor named Don, and how Don was teaching the boy how to time travel, and he was basically a mentor. And it also takes place in there was Russia involved in that book.
But
which
in the
I
book,
think's-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because this is
Elaborate,
like an
elaborate.
important weird thing.
Yeah.
Like Donald in the book, Don, his mentor, starts losing his way. So Baron, that's like he comes to power. What the fuck? Like, who wrote this? How was
Right.
that written?
Right, and then the book that precedes that book is called The Last President. And there's more to the story than that, because the way I actually found out about this
It's a lot.
is, okay, so Nikola Tesla, if you don't know who Tesla is, he's an amazing inventor. Basically, he's the father of everything.
There's a movie
modern.
coming out about him.
Good,
Yeah.
there should be. So
Ethan Hawke.
he's the man. He's a Serbian scientist. Anyway, from America. So
You better go with Shy Ty.
I'm gonna go.
to see that.
yeah, I definitely want to go with you
You can
guys.
come
And,
with us, yeah.
that was after my first psychedelic experience. Nikola Tesla was that for me.
We'll make,
He's-
but,
make it a worst friends event
I'd love that.
and then not show up.
That's the worst. That's the worst, friends.
That's great.
So Nikola Tesla, whenever he died, he died in his hotel in New York, and he basically had all his work with him. Now he was supposed to pass on his work to
already know what you're
to
about to
his
say.
nephew, and instead the U.S. government came in and confiscated all of his work. Well, they didn't just confiscate it; they had to decipher it, because the guy wrote like a madman. I mean, any scientist, any smart person, sloppy handwriting mixed with how can you decipher a genius's diary? So basically, the rumors are that he was working on time travel towards the end of his death, and if he didn't complete it, he was on his way. And the person that they brought in, the expert that they brought in to decipher his work, was none other than Donald G. Trump, Donald Trump's uncle,
No
who Donald
way.
Trump is named after. And that's a real story.
That's a fact.
That's a
That's
fact.
fucking crazy.
It's a fucking fact, dude. What is
So-
happening in this world, dude?
Right. So that it opens the eyes to, so many possibilities, like of life being already a simulation. Are we already past the singularity of horizon point? At that point, it's like a black hole. When you're in a black hole, sometimes you don't even know it. You don't even realize it.
I feel like there's a multiverse and we're in a really fucked up
For
one.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say fucked up as much as, it's trying to show us something. And until we actually understand, and I only feel that because I've done the psychedelics, that's kind of the conclusion I've got, is that until we can really like learn that, I realized I couldn't be whacked out where I'm experiencing that psychedelic universe and live the human experience. So therefore, the human experience is either A, important, or B, it's for fucking nothing. But life is a comedy. We're here for love. We're here to express ourselves in other ways, bullshit, fuck with our friends, have fun. And so experiencing the human, experience is that is life.
Dude,
I think that was really well said. And on that note, I think your battery's about to die, and we're gonna need to go ahead and wrap this up. Did you have anything else you want to plug before we bounce out?
Yeah. So I've been funding my entrepreneur events through my teeth whitening company, all about making people smile confidently.
Smile Labs.
Smile bright. Smile Labs. You can get your teeth whitened for only $1.99. It takes about an hour. You can find my girl Lindsay Kelly at the Bartram Walks Medical Spa and Salon. Anytime. Mostly we set the appointments on Fridays.
Lindsay Kelly that went to Mandarin
I think so.
with black hair.
No, she's blonde.
Damn it! I was gonna say she's one of the coolest people ever.
Bro,
I'm sure that Lindsay's
you
also
can't
cool.
define a woman by what color her hair was when you
She's
knew
a
her.
hard worker, man.
There's
She's
no
one
way
of the
Lindsay's
best.
hair isn't black. No, I'll stand by that.
You know what? She might have blonde hair now or brunette hair now because she dyed it.
Black hair only. There's
Yeah.
no way Lindsay would ever go different than
Yeah,
black.
for
Call
sure.
it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, yep, that's it. Yeah, share
Smile
the good.
Labs sounds great.
Yeah, use our hashtag if you're in Jacksonville and you want to share the good, what you think is good. We want to be able to give you a voice. We want to know how to help out. Use our hashtag What's Good Jax. Tag us in your post at What's Good Jacksonville.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Fuck you. We're out.
Bye.